Hello, everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Now, the DM guide is still coming out. Hopefully, I will be able to get it out today, but if circumstances dictate otherwise for me, we have the next episode for the Lore Master Spell Guide, and this one is something I think fairly special. It's a spell going back all the way to first edition Dungeons and Dragons, and that is Mordenkainen's Disjunction. Now, Mordenkainen is one way of pronouncing this correctly. Mordenkainen, I've heard, is also officially correct. Given that Mordenkainen was a chaotic neutral character, he would probably just say yes when you asked for clarification on which was right. But let's go ahead and just dive into the spell. And we'll go along here with some particulars that go back to the spell's history. As I mentioned before, this goes all the way back to first edition Dungeons & Dragons and was created and named for Gary Gygax's own character, the legendary wizard Mordenkainen. Now, this spell has made it all the way from first edition up to 3.5 edition Dungeons & Dragons, but it has not been featured in any official or third-party supplements since. It's only still now listed in copyright-friendly fashion at the D20 System Reference Documents webpage, which is linked down here. Well, I'll post a link in the description below, but that's the web address if you just want to type it in yourself. That particular page, it's actually a really good resource. Just dive in there, look around for different things if you want to update something to Pathfinder or adapt things to other settings like Shadowrun or Warhammer Fantasy or even Warhammer 40k, whatever you want to do. But this is a really, really great spell. It's also in that category of ultimate dick moves to be hitting people with, whether you're using this through an NPC caster or the players are using it themselves. This spell will absolutely ruin anybody's day. Specifically, well, the specifics for the spell, it has a casting time of 1 standard action. It's a close range spell, so 25 feet plus 5 feet per level. The area of effects, a 40-foot radius, and affects all magical items and effects in that area. It's an instantaneous effect as well, so the instant you fire it off, it's gonna go. Will saves negate, and we'll get into the particulars for the will saves down below. And this spell offers no spell resistance. It's basically a save or suck kind of spell. You either succeed or you don't, and if you don't, you're really screwed. And given that this can affect multiple targets, this one is definitely a bit better than your standard issue save or suck spells, or save or die spells, like, say, Disintegrate. Disintegrate, which you either instantly kill them or you deal a chunk of damage to them. Now, for this particular spell, spells and spell effects are disjoined into separate components unless they make their will saves, either using the owner's will score or their own, whichever is higher. Failure makes magic items regular objects. The spell also has a chance to dispel anti-magic fields equal to the caster's level, in addition to having the same chance to dispel artifacts. And if the caster dispels an artifact, they must make a DC 25 will save or permanently lose all spellcasting ability. There's also a 95% chance of attracting the attention of a being tied to or having interest into the destroyed artifact. Now, when the description where it says here, the spell has a chance to dispel anti-magic fields equal to the caster's level. That's running off of a percentile dice. You have a base chance, but then you also factor in your character's levels. So, given that this is a 9th level spell, you're going to be having at least 17-18% chance at the barest minimum to dispel an anti-magic field, which normally doesn't allow for any magical effects to be taking place. But the fact that this also gives you a chance at destroying artifacts, that's huge. But the artifacts, dispelling artifacts, destroying artifacts does carry two major risks. One is that DC 25 will save. You could potentially lose all your spellcasting ability. You might still have that knowledge. You could still teach, presumably afterwards, but you couldn't actually perform any magic yourself. Top that off with the fact that since most artifacts are tied to a particular being, having a 95% chance of attracting their attention after destroying the artifact and potentially not having any more spell casting of your own to make use of, you could really be screwed. But on the other hand, you've just destroyed an artifact. What a way to go out. Normally destroying artifacts takes insane amounts of work, and this spell allows you to circumnavigate a lot of that. Potentially, at least. Potentially. You can see how this spell just absolutely would ruin so many people's days in one go. And when you consider that, you know, this is a spell. This is a spell you can learn. This is a spell you could put onto scrolls potentially, or in staves. Don't think you can do it for a wand, but in a staff, having this spell in there, sure, maybe you can only use it once, or it consumes like an ungodly number of charges that the staff otherwise normally has. But this thing is stupidly effective. I mean, how petty is this spell too? It's like, they've got a lot of magical gear over there. I don't like that. I don't want it either. I'm just gonna half of them lost their equipment. I'll take whatever's left after I kill them all. And as a wizard, you could probably do that, especially opening up, hitting people with this spell. It's there's no reason to not have this spell in your wizard's repertoire. I mean, the only reason not to is that it's going to be a fairly rare spell, but given how leveling up works and being able to select spells to add into your spell book, unless the DM just tells you no, you can just add this in, and this spell is just incredible. Mordenkainen's Disjunction is awesome. Really, really great, and the history and the lore behind it's incredible, because Mordenkainen is no longer, has for the longest time not been just confined to the world of Greyhawk, but he's on Toril in the Forgotten Realms. He's in Eberron, technically. He's in the Far Realms. He's out there stuck in Ravenloft. I don't know why my brain was blanking on that, but he's been featured in Ravenloft on the Waffle Cruise stream from Dungeons and Dragons, although that's no longer running. You know, it's just great. It's so much fun. The character is wonderful, and I didn't know myself until watching one of the Dungeons and Dragons streams where they're talking about lore you should know. I didn't know that Mordenkainen was Gary Gygax's original character. The one, I mean, that's just, I don't know. It's just awesome to me. Love Gary Gygax, obviously, with everything that he's created that we get to enjoy. Yeah, just a great spell all the way around for multiple reasons. Certainly, if you add this to your game, add it with a great deal of care, because players being players, they're prone to abusing things. Maybe sometimes they rein themselves in, but giving them this, the possibilities are just endless, and the number of people they could absolutely screw over. I mean, first thought that comes to my mind is if they're dealing with pirates, and the pirates are using airships, all they have to do is target an area that have the enchantments that help keep the airship aloft, and poof, down go the pirates. Although why they wouldn't want the airship themselves, who knows? Who knows what the situations are, but this spell will allow them to do so much damage in such a short amount of time. But with that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire, and I keep realizing I'm forgetting to say beforehand, over here are going to be some videos that the YouTube algorithms think are going to be useful to you, or in the vein of things that you like and enjoy. The other will be a video, the most recent video put up. please, if you've been enjoying the content so far, maybe consider going over and watching those. Or if you enjoyed this video, maybe consider clicking like. And, well, honestly, if you've been enjoying content overall, well, why not pop down there and hit the like and subscribe button? The like and subscribe button. Anyways, you get the idea. I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. You all have yourselves a good night. I'm gonna go get some sleep.